Hi Doobies, back again. And keep being bothered. But this is a past life reading for the Wicca goddess. I've been trying to get to it, but people keep bothering me. Anyway, sorry I forgot about you. I happened to overlook you somehow. But I, am here now. And I'm going to try a new past life spread, because I did my experiment with Schimpfo Undulata, and the experiment didn't come out spot on. So, that being said, try another spread I found. It's 14 cards. It'll tell you a lot more about your past life than what mine ever did. So, I just don't have enough room, so maybe a little messy. Anyway, the first card is the, looks like a head, looks like a body. First card is the basic soul, nature coming into this past life. The nature, what type of person you were. You were, I want to say you were a warrior of some sort. You were a type of soldier. Very busy. Sometimes it got to you. I think the wars got to you. You're a soldier, I think, I want to say. It's the Five of Swords, if you can see that very well. Yeah. Alright. The basic environment is one of great, well, I guess great pleasure. So he wasn't so, he must have had a very pleasurable life environment. He must not have been a very uptight soldier, as pictured in the picture. It was a very fun-loving environment. Your early years were one of great mystery. You just decided to, you dreamt a lot about what you wanted, what you could have had. Your education, as far as your education goes, you didn't have the best of education because you were kind of, well, how to put it, you were kind of obnoxious when it came to education. You're just kind of like, I'll do whatever I want. You were that one child in school that nobody really liked. Your accomplishments, you had established great family values based on working. Your work ethic was very strong. When I say, by the way, that your basic soul and nature of you is when you're a warrior at heart. You're a fighter, the type of person you were. Not necessarily what your occupation was. What your occupation is now, was one, I want to say you're quite unclear to me, but you worked something with, the rotary movement. I want to say time. It's the wheel card, and it usually portrays times, things that are constantly changing, constantly moving. It doesn't particularly portray travel. So in this case, I want to say time because it's more like a cognitive type of time. So you might have worked something with time, perhaps factory work, things of that nature. Social status, a very loving type of person, apparently. I went by the wrong card the first time. Very fun-loving person. You just love to be with people, love to express yourself with people. Though you were kind of the obnoxious type of person, educational-wise. Your relationships, I think you got to a point where you just, wow, there's a lot of masculinity in this. I want to say you were a man in the past life, I'm sorry. But there's a lot of masculinity. You had this transition of change emotionally. I think you just got to a point where you became more of a man, really, in lack of a better term. Became more of a man. You became who you were, within relationships. your traditional iconic male in the relationship. Family life, it's a type of one of great balance and great cause and effect. You wanted to keep things very well balanced in the family. You, when somebody does wrong, you were right there. If they did something good, you were right there to reward them. The perfect balance of justice within that, your structure of your family life. Your death. Let's see. Okay, this one kind of confuses me a bit. It's the Four of Wands. In this card, I have such great difficulty trying to understand most of the time, because the picture portrays, in a death image, it has something that's so positive that I find so difficult to understand. But it's the Four of Wands. Did I find one? I'll show you the picture. The Four of Wands looks like this. So when you have, I'm trying to show it out of the glare. And I guess it's good enough. A card like that in a death position is kind of hard for me to entirely understand what it means. I want to say, just a moment. I want to say you died of perfectly legitimate legitimate reasons, natural causes. Because the meaning of this card itself, as given by Sir Michelli, is important milestones, things of that nature. Usually means success in settlement. A settlement, I suppose in this way, it was a time of an anniversary of your death. It was natural, natural, which is good. That's what we want to hear. Sorry, I'm out of breath for some reason. Alright, lesson number 1 that you learned from this past life was not to dwell on what you could have had, but mostly to accept what you do have. And though you spent the time, like I said before, dreaming of all the things that you could have had, that was one of the things you learned. Another is to take time to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? To have more time to yourself, because you were a very determined worker, and you did things for other people. You were, like I said, you were the lover within the social status. You wanted to put on an iconic image, perhaps. So you needed to learn to take time for yourself and be who you wanted to be, do what you wanted to do, instead of worrying about others. How this affects your current life. I think it affects you financially and career-wise. And that it gives you work ethic, that's what I'm trying to get. It gives you the work ethic you've been trying to understand. Don't work all the time. I don't know what type of work experience you do, what you do. But that's one of the lessons. Your other lesson, how it affects this life, I'm sorry, is how to not let society take over you and let you be you. Again, society does take a grasp of you in this life still, but it is up to you to commonly, up to you, sorry, lots of words, to change it. I'm running out of my 10-minute mark, so I'm really gonna have to cut this off. I know that was very quick. Any questions, please feel free to comment or PM me. Again, first time using the spread, so I really hope it works out very well. I found it online. Hopefully one day I'll share it if it works very well. But yeah, that was your past life reading, and that's to be.